Welcome to One Quick Question with Infomedia, your source for answers to your questions about websites, digital marketing, and more. I'm your host, Carrie Rollwagon. So today we are here with Michael Stuckey. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So can you tell people, what do you do here at Infomedia, and maybe even what were you doing before this podcast?
What was I doing before this podcast? Well, I'm a web developer here. I build websites, and I've been here for 9 years or so, and been involved in a lot of things. So, but mostly building websites.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
You're about to get that sweet 10-year PTO bump.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's good. I'm really excited about that one.
We actually have a few of those within the space of a year too.
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely.
It's you need a decade club.
Yeah, I think we need shirts for that.
Yeah.
So, something very exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right before this, I think nothing special. You know, I had a nice nature zone granola bar, sitting on our swing in the kitchen. So,
yes.
gosh,
People listening may
better.
not know that we have a swing in the kitchen. It's a little weird, but it's fun to do while you're microwaving.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so apropos of nothing, let's talk about the topic for today.
Yeah.
Which is, what is ChatGPT?
Oh man, this one's a mouthful. Or
Yeah.
it's just it's hard to wrap your brain around, I think.
Definitely. I feel like everybody's talking about it. I switched the letters around accidentally a lot, so apologies in advance if I say ChatGTP.
I've been saying ChatGPT for some reason, but it's ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
And that stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. That sounds like
Scary.
everyone knows what that is just based on the
True.
saying the name.
I mean,
right?
I know what Transformers are. I've seen the movie. And I have
Yeah, exactly that.
Those toys.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Allspark and Sam Witwicky.
Yeah. Now they will write website copy for you or write code.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's just a really complicated way of saying it's a very large neural network of data. It's called a large language model,
Okay.
which just basically means that this program has access to just the entire internet of things. It knows about books and movies and blogs and all kinds of things, and you can talk to it conversationally. That hence the chat part.
Okay.
So it's
So there are other GPTs that were not great at chatting?
yeah. So this is actually built on GPT-3,
Okay.
which is GPT-3 is the language model. So
That's what we needed, is something else that rhymes.
right. So there was a
Okay.
1, a 2, a 3,
Mm-hmm.
and this is actually sort of 3.5. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Okay. This is the only one that says chat before, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the ChatGPT is specifically an app. And by the way, this is all built by the company OpenAI. And
Okay, so when you hear people conversationally talking about OpenAI or they talk about ChatGPT, conversationally they're probably meaning the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an app. So you log in, you create an account, and you log in so that you can have a conversation with this chatbot,
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Why do you want to have a conversation?
Because, well, I mean, if you're an introvert, you don't, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's got so many use cases. Honestly, it's you can ask it questions like, what is the weather today, or you can ask it to write you scripts or things. I mean, you can ask it to do a lot of things. I'm having a hard time thinking of good examples,
Yeah.
just because I'm frankly scared of it. But
I will say I avoided it for a long time because it requires a phone number, and I didn't like that.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
I eventually did, and it does. I think it stops at 2021 data or something like that.
Correct.
So it's not, if you can't pull current stuff, and a lot of things, if you ask it something write something about my business, it'll say I can only do things before this certain time.
Exactly. And so for instance, I asked it tell me how many Michael Stuckeys live in Alabama.
Yeah.
And it was like, sorry, I don't get into personal details
Yeah.
like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess I am the only one. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, so it does have a lot of, I think that it seems like, at least from what I've seen, like it doesn't have a ton of specific information about like, me necessarily, like people I work with, even companies that I might work with. But when you start, the bigger and the older you go, the more likely it is to
right,
get that.
exactly. It's gonna know things about like celebrities and
Okay.
public figures, and places in history. So
But is that because I think when I first heard about it, in my mind, it was like, oh, it's searching the internet, but it's not doing that, right? It like they built a data set using the internet.
yeah, essentially that. So it's not like when you're on Google and you're typing in a question and it returns the results. It's got those results in their data set, and it's returning it to you in a conversational manner. So
Cool.
like they're trying to emulate talking to a human.
Yeah. But and some of the ways they emulate that, I mean, it seems, okay, tell me if this is correct.
Sure.
It seems like they have done stuff with the interface too that also, like, it is pretty cool. It gives you crazy answers, like crazy good answers.
Definitely.
But also it calls itself, I think it talks in first person. So it seems like you're talking to a person, I think.
It uses I. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then it also, like, it seems to pause while it's writing.
Yeah, it's like
And-
it's thinking. It's weird.
And I'm like, I don't think it is thinking. I think it's trying to.
Yeah, it's giving us
Make
the
me think it's
perception
thinking.
that it's like doesn't
Like-
already know what you're going to ask.
Like when you
before.
call, like when you have a robot that's doing, like you call on the phone, like it's doing you call the bank or something.
Yeah,
And then they're like, let me look that up for you. And then it's like,
yeah, exactly.
I hate that. I'm like, don't lie to me. But ChatGPT does that too.
Yeah, it's weird because those scenarios when you're talking on the phone, I'm always asking it. I'd like to talk to a real person.
Yeah, I mean, we're a real pair to be doing this interview.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they are emulating that. That's why the chat is in it. Is this why it feels so revolutionary, or does that actually impact the answers that it's giving? Like, it's not just, tell me if this is correct. It's not just that it's using first person, it's pretending to have the same limitations we do, but like also some of the answers are more conversational. Some of the writing style, at least as far as like the English writing, not necessarily code, is more natural and fluid. And more, I think some of the stuff I've seen written by AI in the past, it's like, ha ha ha, how stupid. And now you see it and you're like, oh,
yeah.
that's kind of better than what I would have written.
Exactly. Well, something in kind of researching for this, I found that there have been few like AI bots that have been publicly released and interacted with by people, and a few of Microsoft had a tweet bot. Facebook tried one, but both of those ended up being like people were teaching them racist slurs and like asking them questions about the Holocaust, and they're saying, "Oh, that didn't happen." It's like, okay, we're getting into Holocaust denial here. This is not this
good,
is dangerous. ChatGPT is really not interested in like those types of conversations at all. It's they're trying to.
So it does have certain things they want.
Yeah, there's some limitations. I don't think it gets into like crazy political banter or anything that they're really not trying to offend anyone. Mm-hmm. So it's that's easy to do these days. But
well, so sorry.
I don't know if I answered your question or not.
No, yeah. I think that when we talk about it's learning things and it's trained on things, can we help like separate that? Because is it that there are two kinds of training? It's like it's trained in the first place on a certain data set, but then are you also training it like while you're using it?
Yes. So the OpenAI, the company, I mean they have a staff of people, and then there's people that use it that are helping learn it. So it's generative AI is a term that's thrown around a lot, and that means it's generating new content. It's taking information from the data set and it's trying to give back an answer that no one else has really ever given before. But that data set was curated by humans,
Mm-hmm.
and they, like, as we use it, we're teaching it, okay, you got this wrong actually. So I think it takes that feedback and it's feeding on itself.
Yeah.
That's the concept of AI. Is
Yeah.
it's in machine learning, is it's
Exactly.
exactly
Machine
it's
learning,
building
yeah.
upon itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It does seem like, I could be wrong about this, but it seems like it kind of learns within the chat too. Like I asked ours is the same thing. A bunch of questions about website development, just tried to see like how it could write emails and things like that. And then I asked it for a joke, and it was a joke about website development. I didn't specify that,
Yeah.
but I think it's like within the chat, it's like, these are the things you're
yeah,
interested
that's
in.
what I've noticed too, is like, because I didn't understand how it works, and just playing around with it, it's, you ask it one question and it's like, okay, this is the topic that we are engaging in right
Yeah.
now, and then so it's like calling upon
Mhm.
your web development topics, and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, obviously they like web development, so here's a joke about it.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a very good joke, honestly. It's like a
It's a
computer virus.
computer dad.
Yeah, it was a dad joke. That was. I actually asked it, what's something funny I can put in my company Slack, and it did not have good ideas. It was 5 ideas. One of them was sexist. One of them was, I mean, vaguely, but I wouldn't
Sure.
say it. Like, one of them was the, like, why is a computer always sick? It's because it has a virus. Like, that was a joke. So I was like, no, this isn't helpful. But so I do think it's kind of, it does seem not hit or miss. Like it wasn't necessarily wrong. It's also not. It seems like it's not something that you're like, this is 100% right, and I'm gonna take it to the bank. Like,
Yeah, I can't tell if that margin of error is like built in to make us like to ease our minds
Wow.
about using
Now
it.
we're really,
I know, I'm
like,
sorry, I'm like going there.
conspiracy theory, yeah.
but you're right. It is. There seems to be like it's like
Tell the humans bad jokes. Make them think we don't
make
think
them
we're funny.
comfortable. Make them comfortable and be at ease.
And then when they all lulled into a sense of
Yeah.
safety, we're going to take over all their comedy
Yes.
clubs.
And then turn them into batteries.
Yeah. Well,
We'll save the dark stuff for later.
How much of that do we have to be afraid of? Should we fear ChatGPT? Just an easy question for you. Simple.
I'll answer my gut. My gut tells me, and after doing some like research, it's okay. I'm feeling a little bit better, but absolutely we should be scared. Holy crap! Like what is this? It can talk to me like a person. I mean, I saw the Terminator. I saw the Matrix. Come on. I'll calm down. No, I don't want to be a battery. I don't want my buddy John Connor to get chased down by a T-800, but I just I'm pro-human and pro-human flourishing, and I'm pro using our own brains to make things and create. And I think that's where this crosses into like a weird space. Is you've got these bots that are designing art, and I'm doing air quotes there, but and then writing things for you, and how much of that is actually, is it new, is it creative, is it imaginative? And I think no. I think we just have to look at these things as tools, not as a replacement of humans.
Yeah.
So
well, I do think it's a tool. I mean, and that's what it's. As far as my point of view, I mean, I do agree. As far as science fiction, it doesn't, seem to bode well. And that's not even just a joke, because a lot of times science fiction can predict things pretty well.
Yeah.
But I do think, to me, like personally, it is a tool. I think that it definitely has some use cases. I think the scary things about it for me are less like, I'm offended because a machine can do this, and more, it actually requires it seems to me that it actually requires more from us as people
Yeah.
to really think critically, fact check, because misinformation and just inaccuracies of any time, and even like not great biases that are already baked into the language that we try to counteract, but AI isn't really necessarily able to do that.
Sure.
I think I think it requires more from us as humans.
Definitely. I heard a good I guess metaphor. It's like helicopter parenting. Like, let your humans go learn
Yeah.
from their mistakes, and
Yeah.
they'll be better for it, because failure's the best teacher. But I also heard in the same vein of thinking, like, it's like when the calculator was invented and introduced to schools, and kids weren't having to learn how to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, like just by hand
Right.
anymore, and so it was like a tool that helped people be more efficient,
Right.
but you shouldn't rely on it.
Well, and I guess as long as, if we're talking about technology metaphors,
Sure.
I think one that is calming to me, I don't know if it will be to everyone, is when people think we're going to be replaced by this. I kind of think like we all have microwaves, but we still go to restaurants.
That's
and
good.
there's no real reason we should. Technically, we can make food very easily and cheaply in our microwaves, but it is missing something, and we all know
Love.
it. Yes. And I feel like it probably will be similar. And most things that we do that are created by technology, we still as humans value the things that are made by humans, like made by hand.
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess my optimistic viewpoint is that this would be the same. So,
I tend to agree. I mean, I do think there are people out there that understand, like, okay, a machine made this. It's not. It's
and
not
sometimes it
real.
just doesn't. It is missing something, even if we can't necessarily say what it is.
Sure.
But
That uncanny valley.
yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to end on an uncanny valley, and if you are interested in what it is, you can Google it. Because it would be a much longer episode if we go into it. But thanks for telling us at least like a quick idea of what this is. I know people are hearing a lot about it, and now you know something about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. One Quick Question is brought to you by Infomedia. Find show notes, including links to what we talk about on the podcast today, at infomedia.com/quickquestion. Our producer is Elena Harmond. Our theme music is by Brad Davis, and our episodes are produced by Paul and Aaron at Infomedia Studios. If you need website support, marketing advice, or you're interested in building a new website, give us a call at 205-823-4440 or email quickquestion@infomedia.com.